the reviews are in for Shang Chi or Shang Chi, and they're all the same thing. They're all calling this a triumph and praising the representation within the movie. More, I would say, putting it ahead of the content of the movie, putting it ahead of the story, the action, uh, the characters. It's just not a good sign when that's what you're focusing on. But this is an article from The Wrap. They say Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, wins over early critics as, quote, a triumph and fiercely Asian superhero film. Now, what does that mean? Fiercely Asian American superhero film. That's just so weird. Byline says Tony Leung's Wen Wu praised as one of the best MCU villains yet. We'll see. It's by Umberto Gonzalez. And he writes, the reviews are in for Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, Marvel's first solo superhero movie featuring an Asian lead and ensemble cast. And critics call the movie, quote, a triumph, a groundbreaking step of representation, and a fiercely Asian American superhero film. Along with praising the grounded action scenes in the film's first half, Tony Leung's villain Wen Wu gets noticed for being, quote, one of the best MCU villains yet. That's high praise. That's very high praise. We'll see. But I don't know. Quote, if Marvel Studios has thus far made slow progress in developing solo adventures for its many superheroes of color, it takes another successful stride, if not quite as sizable as Black Panther, with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, a film that builds simultaneously on the lexicon of 50 years of Hong Kong action films and the thematic boilerplate of MCU origin stories. This person's comparing it to Black Panther, which was overrated. That's like a 7 at best. It gets worse every time I watch it. But I think they're trying to do the same thing with the keywords triumph and talking about the representation, action. I think they're heavily trying to duplicate the success of Black Panther with the Asian community. And I don't think it's going to work at all, but again, we'll see. Continues, this is a quote, a most decent Marvel movie buoyed by crisp, kinetic action, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe's best villain yet, wrote Slash Films Huai Tran Bui. Okay. Quote, Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings is a genuine triumph for Marvel Studios. There's triumph. A true family drama with plenty of charm and a myriad of winning performances from the outstanding cast, led by Simu Liu and Tony Leung. It opens a whole new world of possibilities for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. How so? And well, hopefully, this isn't proper grammar. I don't know if this is on the person who wrote this article's part or person who made this statement's part. And will hopefully leaving you dreaming of the countless mystical directions the story could go next. Wrote Comic Book Movies Rohan Patel. Another one. Shang-Chi certainly deserves the credit as a groundbreaking step of representation in a mega-budget filmmaking. You just desperately wish that the train it treads upon didn't feel so safe, wrote The Observer's Oliver Jones. Director Destin Daniel Cretton has created a film that is action-packed, emotionally satisfying, and surprisingly hilarious. Trailer didn't portray that. Looked more cringy, the comedy, than hilarious, but I guess hopefully it's better. in the movie, Asian Americans can finally feel like a part of this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jesus Christ. Marvel. This was a quote from POC Cultures. Ron Sale. Oh, Jesus. I can see where their priorities are at. Another one. Marvel Studios' Shang Chi and Legend of Ten Rings successfully introduces the newest Avenger to audiences through spectacular action sequences, memorable characters, and above all, an emotionally resonant narrative. The film will not only enthrall viewers, but will certainly hit home with Asian audiences thanks to the celebration of authentic identity. Heroic Hollywood's Noah Verde. I think, I guess there's a few more. We'll go through them. Featuring funny and endearing moments amid beautifully choreographed action sequences, Shang-Chi excels as a story about family and how it can be twisted by grief. Simu Liu, Aquafina, and Tony Leung bring multifaceted characters to life, and, despite pacing issues, it delivers a hugely entertaining step in the right direction for Asian representation. Another one about representation. Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings is one of Marvel Cinematic Universe's best origin stories to date, filled with stunningly choreographed action, unexpected laughs, and a whole lot of heart. Comic books Yami Yurak, I don't know. Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings is a superb blend of East meets West. It's a beautiful celebration of culture and a triumph for the Asian community. There's a mix of both, triumph and representation. The ensemble as a whole is a knockout that carries the film to greater heights, wrote discussing films A. Felicia Wade. The last one. Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings opens in theaters on Friday, September 3rd. I don't know, why is there a quote there? Oh, for the title. Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings opens theaters Friday, September 3rd. So that's next week. The film also stars Aquafina, as directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. So, yeah, they're just focusing on representation, and a lot of these call it a triumph. It's really weird how so many different reviewers are using that same word. It's almost like they were given keywords to use, key topics. That doesn't happen. It's so suspicious. I'm not saying these people didn't genuinely like it, genuinely like it, but I think it's a little over-exaggerated, at least. But I went and Google searched for Shang-Chi Triumph and Shang-Chi representation. I had to put review in for this one. But see, Yahoo, I think they're covering like what the rap did here. Inverse, Showbiz Cheat Sheet, maybe. I don't know why this one's here. Maybe it says it in the article, but it's the rap article I just went over. Comic book movie, Triumph. This Yahoo, I think that's the same article up there. Sci-fi. Triumph. Fiercely Asian superhero film. Triumph. Fanwire. POC culture, we covered that. Another one, Triumph, Morning Picker, Newsbreak, Triumph. Let's go to the news tab, see. This is the rap article. Triumph. Just all Triumph. This one's more damning. Representation. Searched for under Shang-Chi review, representation. Representation, comic gears. Never heard of them. Coming soon. Shang Chi and Legend 10 Rings be representation that matters. This one mentions representation in the article here. A new champ for representation, they say. That's USA Today. Fiercely Asian superhero film. This is another one. Step in the right direction for Asian representation. Shang-Chi portrays the Asian American experience through the eyes of a superhero. And there's representation. What's the other representation the MCU had been missing until that point? I mean, it's just all over the place. It seems like they're focusing on that more so than the actual contents of the movie. It's focusing on it more than the story, the characters, the action. Just, it's what matters most to them, and it's just ridiculous. They don't care about how good a movie is. They just care about politics in it, representation, all that crap, and it's ruining film and entertainment. Just all they care about. You see it with the people that Marvel's hiring as well. They're people that just care about that. They don't care about the lore or characters, anything about it. They just do it to check boxes. The Loki showrunner, just all she cared about, she said it was her goal to make Loki bi, because she is bi. That was her goal with the series. She didn't care about the character. She didn't care about the lore, the story. She just cared about making him bi. It's so demoralizing to see. And I hope it gets better. I think this period in time, this pandemic, is gonna affect how they approach this stuff within the next few years. They're gonna keep losing money, probably, and they're gonna have to take a whole different approach after Phase 4. We might see a turnaround, hopefully. I'm hoping. I'm not saying this will happen, just a guess. But, God, I hope it does. But what do you think about this? Are you excited for Shang-Chi? You gonna skip it? What do you think about these reviews? Do you think there's something going on there? Something suspicious? Think they're genuine? Think it's just a big coincidence that they're saying the same talking points, same keywords? Let me know. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Comment, share. I have another channel called The Thoughtful Outlaw Sports where I talk about basketball, baseball, football, anything else sports related I'm interested in. So check that out if you're interested, and see you next time. Bye bye.